high school, you take physics, everybody had to take physics, and I loved my physics class in high school and decided to study that in college. I went to college in Boston, and the school I went to, Wellesley, has a historic observatory called the Whiten Observatory, and as a physics major you are required to take classes in another science discipline to be a broad scientist, and I took an astronomy class, and it was a lot of fun. Really nice because the Whiten Observatory was one of the first observatories in this country that trained female astronomers. Some of the first American female astronomers were trained there, and so it was kind of being part of the history there. The observatory still has the original furniture, so when I took my astronomy classes I was sitting at the same table that astronomers from 100 years ago learned pretty much the same thing, and these are women who went on to open science up to other women. Astronomy is one of the first sciences that women could actually partake in. If you look around, you'll notice this room doesn't have any windows and its walls are all painted black. That's because when we test our instrument, we can turn off the lights and we want a really dark room so we don't get any contamination when we're testing our instrument, stray light from somewhere else. So this is what we use for the rocket. Instead of a clean room, we use these tents.
My name is Tim Flaherty. I'm a machinist, instrument maker here at Lab. I've been here 5 years. I've been doing this for over 40 years myself personally.
And I'm a scientist here at LASP, and what I do is I study the sun, and mostly we use data from the source spacecraft, and here's sort of a life-size model of the spacecraft with all the different instruments. There's some pictures there of what it looked like for real, where it was made out of metal instead of just plastic. So the instrument that I use mostly is the Solstice instrument, which is the Solar Stellar Irradiance Comparison Experiment. So starting from when I was a kid, I've always loved looking at stars. I was fascinated by the different patterns in the sky, and I wanted to know a lot more if I could. And hopefully I can.
I'm Travis Metcalf. I'm an astronomer at the High Altitude Observatory for the National Center for Atmospheric Research. I work on the Kepler mission, looking at other stars like the sun, and I've been interested in astronomy ever since I got my first telescope around the time I was your age. So this little model here in the middle, that's the Kepler spacecraft. In real life, it's about the size of a small car. So you see the mirror that collects all the light from all these stars and focuses it on the camera that's on the inside. The cool thing about Kepler is 15 years ago, before you were born, we didn't know about any other planets outside of our solar system. And since then, we've discovered 400 or so planets outside of our solar system.
Eve is looking at the sun. We are looking at the sun. We're measuring the amount of light that comes from the sun as a function of wavelength in the extreme ultraviolet. So those are wavelengths that are shorter than the ultraviolet, which is what gives you sunburns, but they're longer than X-rays, which looks like the earbuds. So it's in between X-rays and ultraviolet.
Ignition and liftoff of the Atlas V with the Solar Dynamics Observatory, learning why our star is changing our lives.